Hello, fearless listeners. Welcome to Let Fear Bounce, the weekly podcast that brings you inspiration and motivation and a nugget of hope. Join me, Kim Langling, as I chat with awesome guests from all walks of life who share how they have conquered their fears. So get ready, my friends, to be empowered to let your own fears bounce. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Let Fear Bounce. I am so happy that you're deciding to spend just a small part of your day with myself today and my special guest this week, Jonni Jordyn. She has a varied background, all kinds of stuff going on, folks. So let me share a little bit about that, shall I? Jonni Jordyn, she was born in Oakland, California, and she started out playing music at 2. Then she moved on to singing and acting in grade school. And in high school, she moved on to writing and filmmaking. And that was followed by drawing and photography in college. So in other words, she's had a very liberal arts education. Now, of all available opportunities that she had throughout all this time frame, music and songwriting won the first round when she found herself performing with legendary stars of the 60s and 70s. And we're going to have to delve into that a little bit deeper. And round 2 began years later after she left California. It all started with a blank piece of paper and the question, how can I possibly write more than 11,000 words for a single story? And a valid question which followed up years later was, how did I ever write 160,000 words? Now writing comes much easier for her, but she still has questions, folks, like how will I ever get all these ideas written down, followed closely by, how many times can I edit the same book? Jonni, thank you. Thank you for being my guest on Let Fear Bounce. Welcome.
Thank you. My pleasure to be here.
Now, I love your bio just simply because of the questions you ask yourself, because I think as authors, we've all done that. But I want to know, I'm going to jump right into, we're performing with legendary stars of the 60s and 70s. How in the world did that come about?
Piano is something that was one of my natural gifts. I just played piano. I made some tapes of things I did with the computer and computer music. And this is in the early 80s. One of those tapes got to someone and says, I got somebody I want you to meet. And I went and met this guy, and he wrote a hit song in around 72. And he was considered one of the he was a legend. His song was considered the Chicano national anthem on the West Coast. So I ended up playing with Santana's brother. I played with Santana's percussionist, 2 of them, and it just kind of blossomed from there.
How awesome! Because I mean, that's an opportunity most folks wouldn't have. So.
No.
How neat that you can look back on that and say, yeah, I did that. And I met these folks. That's awesome. What a cool story. What a cool story. So you started, let's see here. It says years later, you moved different part of the country and you started writing. Now you have all this other background of writing and even cabaret theater. So all kinds of stuff. So how did that all come down to, you know what, I think I'm a writer. I think I'm actually a writer, and that's what I'm going to do.
Well, when I left California and came to Colorado, I started another band. It was a trio, and we were doing since I was familiar with Latin music, we were doing South American and Cuban standards, and we were arranging them and jazzing them up, and just about ready to go on the road, and the singer quit because he wanted to be an actor, and he went off to a theater group. And I looked at the bass player and I said, what do we do now? I think we just move on. So that left me, I'm in Colorado. I don't have musicians here. They're all on the West Coast. And so I thought, well, let me start writing again. And I do remember the week that I started writing, I'm in a hotel. I'm in one of those week type of hotels that when you're traveling, and I got the window open because it's beautiful outside. and I'm just writing away, and got a little cold, a little shivery. Look outside, and it's snowing.
Oh.
So that was my welcome to Colorado.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just, and as I said, I wrote so much, and I started. Okay, let me try getting rid of some of this and whittling it down. It just wouldn't whittle down very much, and I knew I cannot come out and debut with 160,000 words.
Yeah.
So I put it on the shelf and started my next idea. I have a release coming out. Well, actually, I have a release coming out every 6 weeks. I just started releasing them on September 13th, Friday the 13th, because it's my magic series, and it's not super horror, but it does get a little risky, and I've got a few others that'll be coming out before the end of the year, and then, like I said, it'll be every 6 weeks, and this is under my new imprint, my new publishing company, Jordyn at Large, and
Awesome.
so I'm kind of going all in, pushing this before I retire from my day job.
And what is your day job?
I'm a computer developer.
Oh, you're smarty pants.
Yeah.
My brain doesn't go that way, but I so appreciate those brains that do, because we need you. Wow, that's interesting. That's fascinating. I would not have thought that,
Well, it
because you have
turns
such
out,
a creative, all your background is, everything is creative. Well, I guess you could be creative in that. Yeah,
yes, developing programs is creative. It's,
absolutely.
at least it used to be. Today, it's kind of gotten a little weird, but yeah, when I started, it's like we have a problem, find a solution.
Right, right. I've honestly never talked with a computer program developer, so this is awesome.
Well, I can talk like this.
If you want, be the nerdy one. So the books, though, I want to get back to your books. You said you're going to be releasing them, or they are being released, every 6 weeks. Is this a series that each book follows one another?
Yes and no. Um, of the, I have a few different series.
Okay.
And we're starting off with the Lost Art of Magic series, and we'll be releasing the 4 books I have. I plan to write 1/5 one. That'll be the final chapter that's going to wrap it all up. It'll be kind of like that last Dallas episode with the gun coming through the door, and it was just a dream. It'll be like that. And
Oh, and for
I have,
those folks that are listening, Dallas was a show on television a while back, so we're dating ourselves with that one.
yeah, I go back.
Yeah, we have to Google. Well, we both do. You have to Google it for those out there that don't know what Dallas is. It was a television show on regular network television, so you have to go Google it. All right, sorry for interrupting.
It's okay. You know, my therapist is only 31 years old, and I drop names like that, and she goes, "Huh?" And she's, "Give me a second." She has to go Google them.
To see what. Yeah, yeah, it's funny. Yeah, but hey, we all have our times, and ours just happened to be back then. So makes us, and now look at us now, all wise.
Yes, once I
Very.
was so wise, I went out and played children's game with the women's group on a couple days ago, and I'm feeling wiseness in my legs.
I hear you. I'm a newer grandmother, and my very first granddaughter, she's just now learning how to crawl and pull herself up and walk. And I didn't realize, or I forgot, let's say, I forgot just how exhausting it is chasing a tiny little human being around, constant nonstop.
Yes, and then they get to the age where, can I help? Can I help?
Oh,
And then they learn to say no.
yeah, yeah,
You want to come help Grandma do the dishes? No.
no, yeah, no. Okay, so you've got all these books that you're releasing out on a schedule, and you have the one that you said you're going to be writing a fifth book to kind of round out and close out the series. what else do you have? Do you have anything simmering on the back burner that's something you're like, I'm gonna be writing about this here, and or this is my goal, or what I want to have done in 2025 or whatever. What's coming up next, I guess, is an easier way to ask the question.
Well, next won't be out until 2025, but yes, I have another series. I call it the virus series, and it's about a computer virus, not a medical, and it's about how easy it is for things to lose control when you give control to the AI. And the first book, it's accidental, and in fact, our government caused it by doing something to this fledgling AI. And the second book, though, is where we accidentally help. Well, no, that's not. We don't. The AI helps and creates this super mega monster just by giving it life and protecting it. And then the third book that I'm still going to write. I've actually started writing maybe about 25% of it. And this book is going to be interesting because I'm going to talk about what the Big Bang was, how it happens, and who God is in the creation of the Big Bang, and what's going to happen when he turns around and does it again.
Oh,
So,
interesting.
so
Yeah.
we have an artificial intelligence that is going to communicate with the creator.
Oh, that'll be very interesting. Yeah. Wow. So you've got a lot. You've got a lot you're working on.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, outside of writing, do you still dabble in music at all?
I have no. I was going to say I have a piano downstairs, but I have 4 pianos downstairs. Um, uh, do I dabble professionally? No, I think I'm all done. Um, I did a drop in talent show a couple years ago, um, and got all the applause I needed, and thought, okay, I miss the audiences. I really do. I miss pointing at a friend of mine and having a whole area of the crowd go ooh, and walking into a hotel room and someone's, hey, aren't you? You know, those are those are really incredible moments. But late nights, getting home at 4 a.m., um, dealing with managers who are constantly have their hands in the till. I don't miss any of that.
Yeah. I
So
could I could see why you wouldn't. Yeah. Well, I mean, there's different phases in your life and or seasons in your life, and that was a season, and now you're in another one.
yeah, yeah.
So do you see yourself just that continuing on this writing journey? Is there anything else that you see yourself doing outside of writing, or what is it that you like to do outside of writing?
I like to be active. I like to get out there and ride my bike. Now, 5 years ago, I would ride about 2,500 miles a year. I think that's done. I think you know I think I'm down to 3 digits a year.
And that's fine. You're still moving.
Yeah, and like I said, I just went and joined this group doing all this fun picnicky type play stuff, and I just keep doing things um and just I've started over. I'm I'm rebuilding my life. I got the new publishing company. I am going to retire as soon as we can put this machine to bed. I, as an older developer, I'm working on a system that's over 20 years old, and we're just keeping the lights on until the company that bought it can get their systems to include it.
Okay.
So
Okay. So you mentioned you're starting over.
yes,
What was the twist that came that you had to start over?
my baby brother died, and it was a moment of I'm not getting any younger. If
Mhm.
I want to you know, live my life, live my best life, and make things happen. Now's the time.
I can understand that. And first off, I'm very sorry for your loss. Truly, I am sorry for your loss. That's a tough one. That's a hard thing. It's hard to lose anyone. Then yeah, those moments in life, boy, they're powerful, aren't they? Where you just
Yeah.
it's like an epiphany, and you're like, I got to make a change.
Well, and
Regardless of what anyone thinks or says, this is my life. I got to live it, and I got to make a change.
and to really cap it, uh, he had an aneurysm, aortic aneurysm. In the emergency ambulance, they told him, "You're not going to recover from this." And they gave him a phone. Sorry, he called me and he called my sister and says, "I love you." And that was it.
Oh, but you have that. He was able to do that.
Yes,
What a blessing.
it was.
What a blessing. Yeah.
And
Wow.
his blessing continued when they gave his kidney to his girlfriend.
Oh, he was an organ donor as well.
And they matched. I mean, what are the odds?
Wow. Wow. What an amazing legacy he left, huh?
He was special.
I believe it. I believe it. How awesome. How awesome. Wow. And the young lady who received his kidney, she's doing well and thriving?
Yes, yes,
Beautiful. Beautiful. We never know how life is gonna go. But sometimes you can look back and see, you might not understand it, but you see how the path was laid out. Might not be.
in hindsight, it's a lot easier.
Yeah, indeed. Indeed it is. Yeah, I can see how that would be a life altering time, where you would be like, all right, got to make a change. And I think that we all reached that at some point. I know I did a few years ago and decided I'm going to do my own thing. I'm not sending out resumes and trying to get a job outside the house anymore. I'm going to take a big old leap of faith on myself.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
Um,
And that's a lot of people, and and I'm going to ask you this because I had a lot of folks, I got a lot of feedback for that. Some was positive, some negative, and some kind of neutral. But with all of it, it was other people tossing their fears out. Like, can you do that? Are you going to be able to pay your bills? You should have a regular paycheck. You need insurance. And I kept saying, those are your fears that you're throwing. I'm taking a gamble on myself. So when you came to this mindset and this mind shift, because it's a mind shift, um, did you have any little like sparks of fear or something trying to niggle their way in there? Or you just said, no, poop on it. I'm doing this and we're gonna make it work.
Absolutely, because I can tell you, if I leave my job, I can't afford to pay for this house anymore, and I have to downsize immediately. Um, so there's that fear. Um, and so, as a young musician, all my money went into buying new pianos and and amplifiers, and now I find myself with, if I could go talk to myself back. Well, first of all, I would tell myself, music's fun, but work on the writing. But no, I would actually try to save money, and 401ks are good. I
Okay.
was a
Yeah.
goof.
Yeah. Looking back, of course, we all have things that we think that, we look back and say, oh, if I would have done that. But I don't know. Do you have regrets on any of the stuff, any of the life that you've lived?
Marriage. That would be my only regret. Although I can't regret it because my granddaughter is my number one supporter, and so
And
so I
you're
can't
and that's,
regret it.
that's part of your legacy.
Yeah,
How awesome. How awesome. Yeah. So, well, do you plan on retiring, like fully retiring anytime soon?
very soon.
Very,
Um,
very
like
soon.
I said, I'm riding this machine until they finally turn the lights off. And we're kind of predicting it'll be early to mid next year.
Oh, okay. All right. So you're planning. You're in the planning stage of. So okay, let's say the end, say it's a year from now. What do you see yourself doing 1 year from now? So next September in 2025, where do you see yourself?
I see myself writing more. And I also see myself maybe doing some traveling with my partner and just living the life that I didn't live for the last 65 years.
There you go. There you go. And I think everybody should have that opportunity to do that. Wouldn't that be nice if everybody could have that opportunity?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm just hoping that we still have a world and a nation to go see.
To go travel to. Right. Right. Well, where can folks currently, where can they find your books and anything about you?
I do have a website, and it's www.jordanatlargebooks.com.
Okay. So folks can find you on your website. Are you on social media at all where they can find you?
So you can find me on TikTok at Jonni_Jordyn.
At the end of it, we're getting ready to wrap up the show here. So at the end of each episode, I ask all of my guests to toss out a nugget of hope, something that the listeners can tuck away and carry with them, a little motivation or inspiration. So what would your nugget of hope for the listeners be today?
If there is something that you always wanted to do and were kind of putting it off and not really going all in, do yourself a favor and figure it out and go all in. Just you may or may not find success, but you will find happiness doing the thing you want to do.
I love that. Just go all in. Yeah. What an awesome nugget. Thank you for that one. I like that. I wrote it down as you were saying it. So thank you for that one. And thank you so much, Jonni, for being my guest today on Let Fear Bounce. I truly appreciate your time and you sharing your story and a little bit about you and what it is that you're doing. And the best of luck with all of your books that are coming out. And on that, you've got a lot going on, lady. Every 6 weeks, a new book, and you've got more in your brain that you're going to be writing. So, best of luck with all of that. And once again, thank you so much for being my guest on Let Fear Bounce. It's been a true blessing.
Thank you for having me. It's been fun.
Thank you. And everybody out there listening, thanks so much for tuning in to another episode. New episodes each Wednesday, folks. You can find them on Spotify, all kinds of listening platforms, as well as YouTube. So this is Kim Langling, your host of Let Fear Bounce. Everybody be well, stay well, and above all, be blessed. Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode of Let Fear Bounce. Your time is precious, and I am so grateful that you chose to spend just a small part of it with myself and my guest today. If you've enjoyed today's conversation, be sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss our weekly nuggets of hope and inspiration. And remember, folks, let fear bounce because you've got this. So until next time, folks, keep your light shining bright.